how do you manage that component of just how wide of a spectrum there is and how different kids can need so many different things?
It has been, so that question, Garrett, is more loaded, I think, than you realize. It has been a journey of discovery. How do you do that, right? I think that's the question we're continually trying to answer. And maybe let me touch on something you kind of hit on. Typical therapy is one-to-one, right? It's an adult and a child. And there's lots of reasons for that. Some of it is, from a clinical perspective, it's more intensive, right? So they get to focus just their attention because every kid is unique, and especially in the spectrum. You know, the saying is you've met one kid on the spectrum and you've met one kid on the spectrum. But there's other reasons. There's regulatory reasons, which is there's HIPAA concerns and medical disclosure and protecting client confidentiality. There's other regulatory concerns of billing, like how do I track services from one kid versus another? And so the clinical approach is, well, if I have one adult, one child, all those things are easy to answer. Confidentiality is built in. But it's counterintuitive because the biggest thing we're trying to do for these kids, right, help them to integrate into society, to develop their social developmental skills, their emotional regulation components. We accomplish that by sticking them in a confined room with an adult, right? And so the more and more I meet parents, and autism can be a lonely world. Like, you talk to parents out there, yes, there's services everywhere for the kids, but the way they're run, it's like you still feel isolated as an adult. You're on your own floating island. And so, you know, I meet more and more parents now with the school and hearing their stories, and this common component is, yeah, my son was at school, or my daughter's at school, and the principal's their best friend, or the teacher's their best friend, or the coach is their best friend, but they have no friends. Or they go to the park and they relate with the adults versus the kids. And so we're, I think, unintentionally programming this secure relationship that we don't want to be what they actually grow into. We want them to socialize. So that, solving that problem, right? How do we do that? The whole idea of Polaris was, look, rather than running these as medical programs, and rather than running this where we're billing insurance and now we're subject to all these other medical regulation criteria, the big question, the what if, is, well, what if you hire all these people as school employees? What if you're not running a clinic? What if it really is just an academic institution? So in addition to your normal teachers and aides, you have these medically trained, clinically proficient professionals as really just overqualified classroom aides, right? Then what can you do? And the answer is, well, whatever you want.